Hello everybody and welcome back to the Minecraft Let's Play. My name is Hocus Pocus and today we are getting started on episode 12. So I have something big in store for today's episode. We're going to be heading out and attempting to build an automatic kelp farm so that we can dry the kelp and then create our own fuel source from it. Okay, so before I get started, there's a couple things that I need to go and collect and a couple things that I need to do. So the first thing I'm going to do on camera with you guys right now, I'm going to create a new diamond pick. I'm going to get us enough iron to create an anvil, and at this point you might have already guessed what's going to go on. We're going to create 3 of those, create the anvil, and you know what? I'm just going to pop it down on top of our enchanting table for now. Right here, and then we will combine these two to create ourselves a fresh pickaxe because we're gonna need it for this episode, is basically what I'm saying. So if you remember rightly from last episode, we got the front of our base completed and we tidied up a few other things around the base, and I showed you how the world got corrupted and all of that good stuff. So from this point onwards, I'm just going to create a small series of clips just showing you what I went and collected for this build. I'm not going to commentate over it or anything, but once that's over, I'll rejoin you and we can get started on today's main topic, which is the automatic kelp farm. Okay guys, so there we go. We have everything now that we require to get this auto kelp farm up and running. So all that's left to do now is decide a place where we're going to build it, and I think we're just going to extend the base back here, and well, I basically want this thing to become sort of a super smelter as well at the same time. So I was going to make a separate building for this, but then I thought again, well, actually the super smelter probably should be somewhere near the main base because, you know, we're going to be using it quite often. So I think what we'll do is we'll extend this back. We'll dig out a fairly large room because this is going to take a lot of space. And I'm even thinking that we might transition the design at this point and go for something different in the auto smelting room. So I'll play around, I won't be building right now, but I'll dig out an area that I think is suitable for the farm, and I'll come up with a little plan, and then once I've got it all dug out, we can then start to think about the design and setting up the redstone mechanics for this build. Okay, so digging has commenced, and so far this is what we've got in terms of a basic plan for the room. So what I've decided is I'm going to actually transition the design right here in these 3 blocks so that we don't have a random strip of spruce in the room. So we're going to leave this and leave that. That's going to be where the design transitions. Over here is going to be our first module. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 spaces to plant the kelp. That's where the kelp will go. And then I'm just playing with a little bit of design here. Maybe use some diorite, I was correct. Maybe use some polished diorite in this build, and some other, I'm not sure on the rest of the palette yet for this room, but I'm just going to play around with a few designs, and I'm going to fit one module, and then once that's done, we can take a look, and I'll explain to you how it works a little bit. Alright then guys, so I've made a little bit more progress on our automatic kelp farm / super smelter / whatever else it develops into at this point, and I'm not sure, honestly. I mean, the design, I've tried to use a bit of diorite and I've tried to get a bit of andesite going together. I mean, it's not the easiest texture to match up because they don't, I mean, usually it's easier if you've got a contrasting texture to use as an accent block. So here, which I'm not currently doing. but I mean the white and the grey is kind of similar. I'm not too sure whether I like it or not, so I'm gonna have to adapt and develop this design as we go on. And I've also made a design here for the kelp farm itself. So this is how the thing works. You plant kelp on the gravel here. I switched it from dirt to gravel, and once it reaches the observer, it'll power the bank of pistons below it. And this is just simply one module, so we're going to repeat this module over here, and we also may be able to repeat the module back one space above this one just to create a dual layer farm type scenario. So I'm going to keep working here and see what I can come up with, and then once again I'll come back and update you guys. Okay guys, so I just brought you back here because I'm about to build the second layer of this farm. I just want to show you basically the process that I'm going through right now so you can see how the redstone works. Okay, so this is our second layer. Firstly, we're going to have to put down some andesite at the bottom layer. So let's just put a row of andesite. Then we can put our pistons in. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then we need to hop behind for the redstone and the observer. So let's just clear a bit of space back here. Let's take a torch down so we can see what's going on. And so essentially what happens is the observers detect when a piece of kelp grows to the height of the observer. So let's place those in. Oops, wrong place. Right on top of the pistons, like so. And then you want to leave a row of blocks behind the observers, like so. You can even, you can tear them out and replace it with whatever you want. So let me just quickly do that. Let's stick some cobblestone in there just so I can take that coal with me. And then you place a piece of redstone behind each observer. And then what happens is once the observer powers the redstone, that powers the block beneath it, and that powers the piston. So you stick a block and the whole row will push itself out, forcing the kelp upwards, which will, obviously we can't see what happens right now, but once the entire column is filled with water, the kelp will rise to the top, and then at the top I'll have a water stream that pushes it this way, and then we'll either decide to drop it down into some hoppers or drop it into a water stream that will take it elsewhere. Currently I'm thinking about having a row of hoppers somewhere around about here, which will collect our drops, which then get dispensed into a system that automatically smelts the kelp into dried kelp, and then we can craft that into kelp blocks, which we'll then use for smelting purposes later on in the series. So let me just get back to finishing up the design here, and then hopefully I can at least show you guys this thing in action in today's episode. And then if we can't get all of the work done within this episode, we can carry it on into the next episode. So what I'll do is I'll make some more progress with the build, and then I'll show you guys once that is complete. Okay guys, welcome back. So do you see that behind me? Do you see it? That is the kelp farm, and I don't really know how efficient it is. Don't really know how much it's going to produce us per hour, but I like how it looks so far. So let me give you a sort of explanation. Okay, so when the kelp grows to 3 high, the observers will detect the growth. They will trigger the piston below it, and the piston will knock anything that is too high or more off. The kelp will float to the top. It will flow into this water stream in the glass above, and then when it reaches these trapdoors, it will drop down to these blocks here. So eventually we will run some hoppers along here that will collect the drops, and then from there we can file the drops into a single location. So either a mass storage, a furnace array, as I said, where we can dry the kelp out and make it into fuel, or we can send it anywhere really. So let me just hang around for a second and see if we can capture this thing in action on camera, because it does work. I've seen it work, but obviously we're going to need to replicate this module many more times in this room if we want to have any sort of success long term with this thing, because on its own I doubt this module will produce that much kelp over the course of an hour, let's say. So what we'll eventually do is we'll copy this design onto this wall. We'll copy it to the right hand side of the initial design, and we'll just in essence expand the farm so that we can hope for more kelp per hour basically. So any minute now, hopefully this thing will trigger so that I can show it to you, because I see there's a 2 high in there. I think there's a 2 high there. There's a couple 2 highs down here as well. So we're just waiting on one of those to grow an extra step, and that should trigger the system. So any second now, hopefully, we'll hear those pistons fire and you can see the thing in action. I'm still not entirely sure about the design here. I do know one thing that I want to do though. I want to push this white diorite row. I want to push that up to here so that it's in line with the glass. So let me get some of that out of my inventory and pop it up there like so. Just bring that one up as well, up to there. Pop the diorite in there, and then we're going to need some andesite to finish this column, and some unpolished andesite. Okay, I think the system just fired. So okay, here we go. The kelp drops right there. Look, perfect. I was able to show you, which is good. I mean, what did we get there? We got 3 kelp. So that's what I mean about this farm. It's not going to be the most efficient, and we're not going to get the highest number of drops from it. But if we expand it and keep building these modules over time, it will generate for us kelp without us having to do any work. So I really don't know about this design, guys. I think I'm gonna have to tear it out and think of something new. We could end up just running the same design that we've got in the rest of the base into this room, but I don't know. I don't really want to build in the same design throughout the entire base. I want to give a bit of variety to you guys, so maybe we'll try and work on this design and hopefully get something sorted, because I have gone with the double half slabs for the ceiling, and I was thinking of doing the same for the floor, but then I had a realization that if I do the double half slabs for the floor, it's going to join up with this texture here, and I don't know how that's going to look. So yeah, we're going to have a long think about the design of this room. We could maybe go for a wood on the floor and a wood on the roof. I don't know. I'm gonna have a look into it. And I mean, the important thing is that we've got the farm up and running. So for now, what we've got is okay. And I think that on this note, we can wrap up the video and maybe work again on the kelp farm in the next episode, because I've been working on it for a very long time now, about 2 hours or so. And I mean, it doesn't look like we've got a lot done, but this has taken a lot of effort. So I hope you guys can understand that this is going to be the end of the episode, and that we will carry this build on into the next episode. I'm glad I was able to show you the thing in action, just so that you get a grasp of how it works and what we can expect to achieve from having a farm of this size. So if you enjoyed the video, guys, please leave a like below and comment any feedback you may have from me. If you enjoyed the episode a lot, then why don't you subscribe and hit the bell notification button so that you can be notified when the next episode of this series goes live. Anyway, guys, once again, thanks for being here. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day, and until the next episode, bye bye.